Andrew and Tristan Tate, the brothers who rose to prominence as figures in the manosphere, were taken into federal custody in Miami earlier this morning. Their arrest marks a turning point, as their once steadfast supporters on the American right are beginning to withdraw their backing. I'm your name, and in today's episode, we break down the fallout from the Tate brothers' arrest, the legal battles that lie ahead, and what this means for their allies in President Trump's orbit. The Tates first made headlines in Romania, where a travel ban had been imposed on them amid serious allegations of human trafficking and other crimes. In 2023, with pressure from former President Trump's advisors, that ban was lifted, allowing the brothers to fly back to the U.S. They then leveraged their massive following of young men to cultivate influence with Trump allies, family members, and prominent conservatives. The brothers even appeared in a podcast in January 2025, where former Trump counsel Alina Habba, who had been a vocal supporter, told Andrew Tate, "I got your back over here." Fast forward to this morning. Federal agents in Miami took Andrew and Tristan into custody, and Britain has now formally requested their extradition. The British request lists 38 charges, including rape, sex trafficking, extreme pornography, and indecent images of children. The brothers have denied every allegation, labeling the accusations as politically motivated. But the threat of extradition has forced the Trump administration to get involved. Federal prosecutors, representing the British case, are arguing the extradition in a Miami court. An interesting development is that the brothers' own representative reached out to Alina Habba right after the arrest, asking if she was free to speak. According to two people familiar with the outreach, Habba never responded. This silence has been interpreted as an indication that Habba, who no longer sits in the administration but still speaks to Trump, has distanced herself from the brothers. Other key allies are also stepping back. Paul Ingrassia, the acting general counsel of the General Services Administration who previously worked on the Tate's legal team and once praised Andrew, posted a short note on X criticizing politically driven prosecutions. In a confidential conversation with the New York Times, Ingrassia said his post simply reflected his beliefs about the Constitution, not personal defense of the brothers. The fact that an official who had been close enough to the Tates to speak publicly about constitutional principles is now publicly calling the prosecutions driven by politics signals a shift. President Trump remains officially silent on the case. An administration official said Trump will not intervene personally, but the fact that the administration has to participate in the deportation process is a stark contrast to earlier times when the Trump team influenced Romanian prosecutors to lift travel bans. The situation exposes a fragile alliance, the Tate's brand of hyper-masculinity plugged into the Trumpede machine, but now the backing has collapsed under legal pressure. The announcement of a federal charge list featuring serious crimes, the lack of response from their former defender, and warning from former allies all point to a waning of right-wing support. What does this mean for American conservatives? The episode illustrates the precarious nature of celebrity politics when intertwined with allegations of violent crimes. It also shows how legal actions can ripple through networks of influence, leading to distancing by those who once celebrated the same persona. As the extradition hearing rolls on, the court will have to determine whether the Tates can be extradited to Britain to face these 38 charges. Our source indicates that U.S. prosecutors are pushing the case forward, which could ultimately see the brothers answer before a British court. That's all for today. I'm your name. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time for more in-depth coverage of the headlines that shape our politics.